Okay, guys, we have some breaking news about the New York City mayor race. It appears that Eric Adams is making an announcement about his campaign. This could mean a lot. If Eric Adams drops out of this race, that means that is obviously going to help Andrew Cuomo against Zoran Mandami. If he chooses to stay in this race, that is going to continue to help Zoran. So it looks like he is about to speak now. Let's go ahead and bring this in here. This is live from New York. Here is Eric Adams. It was a little bit of a late start.
Why not?
Don't do that.
Yeah, we'll ask the question.
First of all, thanks for coming out. And to New Yorkers, I want to speak directly to you. There has been so much speculation, communications, announcements of what I'm doing, no matter what I have stated over and over again publicly. So I want.
Yeah, this is in response to there was a report out that Donald Trump had reached out to Eric Adams to offer him an ambassador position of Saudi Arabia if he drops out of this race. Like Donald Trump is trying to help Andrew Cuomo win. Andrew Cuomo, like I told you guys before, he does have some type of connection to Donald Trump. Again, of course, just goes to show you this whole big uniparty, right? Like you have a Democrat that has been talking to Donald Trump behind the scenes. Many players involved in this. Hakeem Jeffries does not want to endorse Zoran Mandami. Neither does Chuck Schumer. That's why I throw that whole vote blue, no matter who thing out the window, because that doesn't really mean no matter who. It means support the corporate establishment Democrat. Don't support someone that is running on like progressive issues. Definitely don't support someone that is a democratic socialist, like that type of thing. That's really what the vote blue, no matter who slogan means. And so you're just seeing this in real time. And I told you guys before, like the party as a whole is very corporate. It is very corrupt, just like the Republican Party is very corporate and is very corrupt. And the last thing they really want is to have someone in a position that has policies that benefit the people, policies that benefit the working class. So let's continue on here.
To be clear with you, Andrew Cuomo is a snake and a liar. I am in this race, and I'm the only one that can beat Mandani. Andrew has had a career of pushing black candidates out of races. You've heard me say it over again. Carl McCall, Charlie King, David Patterson. This is his career.
And yet so many black voters have been supporting Andrew Cuomo. The numbers do show that. The numbers show that the majority of black voters are supporting Andrew Cuomo, not Zoran Mandami. This is really interesting how people, and I said this before, like black people, we need to have a conversation, like why you're just supporting people just because, and people who actually are going against the interests of the black community. Now, Eric Adams isn't any better. I mean, he's already mayor, and you see how things has life improved for black people in New York? No, it hasn't. It hasn't improved for anybody in New York. If you're working class, it's only become more and more expensive. So Eric Adams is corrupt too. He's a part of that very same corruption. So I think these are things that are important to point out. I do not believe that Eric Adams is going to be able to beat Zoran Mandami based on the numbers that I've seen, unless something crazy changes. But it doesn't look like that is going to happen. It is interesting. He's calling Andrew Cuomo a snake. I would have called him corrupt, but I guess he can't do that because he's also corrupt. You see this? So this is very telling, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I'm surprised. And I told you guys before, like, I just don't believe the Democratic Party is going to allow someone like Zoran, if he does win, I don't think they're going to allow him to move forward with that type of agenda. I think that he's going to reach a lot of hurdles, primarily from Governor Hochul, the governor. But I don't think they're going to want him to do that. We already saw Bernie Sanders is telling him to cool it on the Israel conversation. We have seen him walk back some of his statements about policing. These things are concerning. At the same time, I do understand that your choices are Zoran Mandami, Eric Adams, corrupt, Andrew Cuomo, corrupt. and this Silwa guy who's just also corrupt and crazy. I mean, there's no third party candidate in this race. And it was actually Andrew Cuomo who made that difficult. He's the one that made it more difficult for third parties to run in New York. So I get it. I understand why New Yorkers, especially if you want lower rent, why you want to support Zohran Mamdani. I totally get that. I just don't think people should go out there idolizing him. I don't think people should look at him as a hero, because I don't want people to be disappointed again, like we have been before in the past with others. Also, I don't think that politicians are heroes. But it'll be interesting to see what he decides here.
Must stop with me. This city can't go backwards, New Yorkers. This is a city that I inherited, where crime was out of control, COVID, no one wanted to be on our subway system. We watched what happened in housing. The reason people are having these conversations is because I made the city safe. I committed myself and dedicated myself to a city that I love. And I'm going to continue to do that. This polo shirt that I'm wearing that says Eric Adams, Mayor of the City of New York, I'm going to wear that for another 4 years.
He also ramped up the police state. Let's not forget it was Eric Adams who sent in the NYPD after the students that were protesting at Columbia University, and they were very brutal towards those students. So don't forget that Eric Adams is a former cop, very much pro-police, also pro-Israel, right? So those things tend to be connected because the NYPD is trained by the IDF. So you put those two things together and you know what Eric Adams is about. But he's having this conversation with the public as though he has not been mayor all this time. He's complaining about the issues that exist in New York City, but he was mayor and he could have fixed some of those things. Why did rent increase in New York City under Mayor Adams' leadership? It didn't decrease. It didn't stay the same. It increased under his leadership. So it just kills me. Like him and Andrew Cuomo, they act like they weren't in office already. Andrew Cuomo acts like he wasn't governor. Eric Adams acts like he wasn't mayor. Like some of these things you could have fixed if you wanted to. You were more focused out there implementing a police state, brutalizing protesters, and supporting the establishment.
We can't go backwards. We can't have a city that's filled with encampments like I inherited. We can't have a city where crime and guns are on our streets like I inherited. We can't have a city where unemployment was high across the city, but specifically for Black and brown communities like I inherited, while children were not getting a quality education like I inherited.
How did he inherit the encampments when the encampments started after October 7th, 2023, and he was already mayor? How did you inherit? Inherit means that this is something that happened before you. It came before you, and then you went into that position. And then once you went into that position, this is now your problem because the problem existed before you got there. So how did you inherit the encampments when they happened under your leadership, not the one before? I don't know what to say, you guys.
Where low-income people were not receiving the support they deserved, like I inherited. What we have done in 3.5 years shows why we have to continue the success we have. I have 2 spoiled brats running for mayor. They were born with silver spoons in their mouths, not like working class New Yorkers. I'm a working class New Yorker. They are not like us. They've never had to fight. They never had to struggle. They never had to go through difficult times like you and I had to go through, New Yorkers.
Well, it sounds like since you came from that experience, you should have spent your time as mayor focusing and prioritizing those issues, not cutting from education, not cutting from the sanitation department. You know what I mean? Now, all of a sudden, it's I grew up poor. I grew up, lower income, working class, again, as though he was never mayor. This is really hilarious to me. It's really cracking me up. Oh, my God.
This is such a pivotal and important period, and we have to get it right. And so there's a lot of reports that I'm in Washington on Monday. Those reports are wrong. I'm not. I'll be moving throughout this city in the 5 boroughs that made me mayor in the first place. I'm running for re-election, and I'm going to tell New Yorkers every day why I believe I should be the mayor of the city of New York in 2026.
Oh, whoa. He is not dropping out of this race. He's not dropping out. I thought this announcement was going to be Eric Adams dropping out of the race. But the announcement, it sounds like he's staying in this race. Oh my God. Eric out here trolling people today. Andrew Cuomo is not going to like this. Zoran Mandami will love this. That definitely helps him. Oh my God. I don't say.
And yes, I hear the polls, I hear the comments, I hear the pundits, but those are the same polls that stated 8 weeks after that Andrew Cuomo was up by 36 points. And even his poll had him up by 10 points. Those are the same polls that stated he was going to walk into becoming the mayor of the city of New York, who he believes is a consolation prize because he made the determination to step down. I'm running, and I'm going to beat Mandani, and I'm going to continue the success that this city has witnessed. And yes, there's many challenges. And yes, I hear it over and over again. It's almost Groundhog Day, folks. How many times have I been told throughout this journey to step aside, to surrender, to give up, to give in? That's the same thing we tell everyday New Yorkers. Everyday New Yorkers are not giving up, are not giving in, are not surrendering. So the mayor is not going to do that. The voters will determine who's the next mayor of this city. And I will respect the outcome from the voters. I love this city. And I gave this city my all. And I'm going to continue to give them my all every day. And New Yorkers, you'll decide. Do you want a working class mayor that's like you, one who struggled like you, one who lived in poverty like you, one who wondered where your next meal will come from like you? Or do you want two individuals who had it all and decided that the elitists would run this city and not a working class mayor?
What does that tell you about capitalism as a whole? The fact that he grew up struggling in New York, didn't know where his next meal was going to come from, and New Yorkers who live there today grow up that same way. Eric Adams is got to be what, at least like in his 50s or something by now? What does that tell you about capitalism? Also, what does that tell you about the economy over the years? What does that tell you about New York? We have not fixed this problem. That being said, Eric Adams had an opportunity to accomplish things for lower income working class people while he was mayor. Eric Adams prioritized Israel. He prioritized giving the key to the city to Diddy. He prioritized, cutting the budget in places where it should not be cut. You should never take budget cuts from education, sanitation, the library, etc. He didn't prioritize the working people. Like I said, New York City rent increased under Mayor Adams' leadership. So nobody really wants to hear all this. I grew up working class like you now. You had plenty of time to accomplish those things. And honestly, and I'll be honest with you guys, I lived in New York a long time ago, but it still remains the same that the rent in New York is ridiculous. Just like the rent here in Boston, Massachusetts is also ridiculous. It's outrageous. People can't even afford to move. If you want to leave New York and live somewhere that's cheaper, how are you going to save up money if you can barely pay your rent? So it's not a new issue. It's been a problem for a long time.
That's the decision.
What are you going to do?
Will you accept or reject the Trump offer?
What's your evidence?
Why are you taking questions? What about Curtis Lewa? Is he the one with the silver spoon?
Have a great week.
Whoa. So he just like walked away. He wasn't willing to take any questions. It's interesting. I could understand if Eric Adams was in second place, but he's in third place. Last time I checked, he was at 11%. I'll have to double check that poll again to see if it's still the same, but I know he's not in second place. This race is really between Zoran Mandami and Andrew Cuomo. But he's choosing to stay in this race. And it's just really weird that he says he can beat him, but he's not even in second place. Andrew Cuomo was able to capture a significant portion of the Black vote, even in the primary and even now. So that tells you that even Black voters a lot of the Black voters don't want to fuck around with Eric Adams anymore. They had you. Black voters had you in New York. And I say this because look at this. Let me show you this real quick. I'm not going to keep you guys long. Former New York Governor Cuomo trailing Mamdani in mayor poll. So this was announced 6 hours ago, earlier today. Look at this.
Mamdani hitting his $8 million fundraising cap.
That's right. President Trump is now weighing in, hoping to see the field narrow. But no one has dropped out yet.
We are, by the way, less than 2 months from Election Day. Eyewitness News reporter Phil Tate is live at City Hall for us with the latest developments. And Phil, I hear that the New York Times is reporting a new possible role for Mayor Adams. What's that?
Yeah, Danny, good morning. New at 10, the New York Times reports that there are now conversations between Trump advisors and Mayor Eric Adams about nominating him to be the ambassador to Saudi Arabia. Now, with this deal, this would pull his re-election bid and then create a pathway forward for former Governor Cuomo, who is adamant that he is able to take on Zohran Mamdani in this race. Now, Zohran Mamdani came out earlier today that he has reached that $8 million fundraising cap, and he's asked his supporters to stop the cash flow.
We can't take any more of your money. Truly, you need to stop. Thanks to you, we've raised the maximum amount of money we can spend in this race, $8 million.
Wow. As for Adams, he faces an avalanche of questions about suspending his campaign. Now, he said he's in it to win it. And according to the New York Times, he told some of those closest to him that he would consider dropping out. Now, the president, in so many words, saying he wants Mayor Adams and Republican challenger Curtis Sliwa to step aside.
I would like to see two people drop out and have it be one-on-one. And I think that's a race that could be won.
If the president or anyone else that believes they have investments in this city of any magnitude is concerned, I say they should be concerned.
Now, looking at the top two contenders for City Hall, former Governor Cuomo has been running 20 points behind in a four-way race. And if his other competitors suspend their campaigns, he is convinced that he will beat Zohran Mamdani. Now, the Assemblyman won that June primary, picking up the Democratic nomination with a historic turnout, which he insists is a mandate.
I fought him every step of the way. So my speculation, if he wants anyone, he wants Mamdani, because he would go through that kid like a Mack truck.
Now, for Curtis Sliwa, he says that he has no plans on going anywhere anytime soon. Now,
So you guys get the gist of it. Again, I don't want to keep you here long for this, but I did just want to make sure I cover that breaking news because I had time to do it. I don't always have time to cover breaking news. But yeah, I mean, that's a plus for Zohran Mamdani. That is not a good thing for Andrew Cuomo. And Donald Trump is probably not going to be happy about that news. But the fact that the president even tried to intervene with the mayor race, what are we facing as a country? What are we facing, right? I knew something was going to happen, though. I knew they would try something, whether it was the Democratic Party or the Republican Party, because, again, every time we have people run on these issues that benefit people that are working class, the corporatists, the donors, the donor class in particular, they don't want it to happen. But I think Eric Adams just delivered some news that's going to, I guess, shock Donald Trump and a lot of other people too. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.